How you going, guys? I just bought myself a battery powered Jumbuck mini spit, and well, I want to be able to plug it into power supply and not have to use the batteries 24/7. And it's a pretty easy mod to do, I reckon. So first things first, here it is. This is your little motor. It takes some batteries. I am going to convert this with a DC plug, well I plan to, and there's only one place to go for those sort of parts. It's J-Car. How are we? We are back from J-Car, and we've bought pretty much just two things, but you could probably use, I had a couple of things already in stock. You might want to buy a couple of things as well. Power supply. This is a switch mode power supply. It goes from 3 volt up to 12 volt DC. We want 3 volt today. That's the voltage of the motor. One of them. And then we need a plug. This is a switching DC jack. Don't know if it's going to focus or not, but we're going to drill that in to the side of the case somewhere. We haven't really worked it out yet, but what's going to happen with this is going to allow us to use batteries and leave batteries inside the case, so you can leave the batteries plugged in, and when you plug in the jack, it's going to disconnect the battery and work off the power supply. So it's not going to charge your batteries, that's not what these do, but it will give you the option to plug it into a power point using your DC adapter or run it off batteries. Alright, here's our motor on the bench. Now I'm hoping, I wouldn't mind putting the jack underneath, you know, might be least exposed to the elements, but if not, I'm sure there's a bit of room we can screw it into the side there. Alright, we're going to take it apart. 4 Phillips head screws in the back. Let's take it apart real quick. Don't worry about parts falling, it's pretty easy to put back together. This is the little part that connects to the rod. Move that out of the way, and then this part, there we go, just drops out. Okay, pretty basic wiring setup. We have the on-off switch here. That's your power supply in. Comes to this side of the switch. When you turn the switch on, power runs back through here into the motor and out. What we want to do with this jack, we probably want to mount the jack just in here off the side, I reckon. We want to cut this wire here, your incoming power, and we want to wire it into the positive terminal on this jack, and then that will go up here, and then this part is going to go into the switching part of your jack, and then the ground, or the negative, or the neutral, is going to go into the ground part of the jack. Alright, so I'll go get a drill bit, get this mounted in. I've got my soldering iron heating up, and yeah, we'll have to do a little bit of soldering, but it's pretty basic stuff. If you don't know how to solder, ask a Sparky mate, they all know how to do it, and we'll see how we go. Okay, just drilled out an 8mm hole, pop it through the back, chuck in a lock ring, really tighten it up. Nice. There we go. We can wire it straight off that. Pull it back apart. We'll chuck some wires on and give it a test. Alright, I'm going to chop this wire. Strip both ends. We have cut the wire between the battery and the switch. I'm going to stick the plug in between. So first we'll tin the wires. We just want to double check what the center pin is, because that's where we want to put our negative, or our common, or our ground. I'll do a quick continuity check. There we go. So here we go, we've got continuity going through. So we want to put our black wire on that one there. Okay, we're going to make our ground wire. Made it pretty long so you can be able to take the cover off and still have a bit of cable to play with on the back. So first things first, we've determined, use a multimeter, determined what your center pin is on your DC jack. We've found that. We've given it a little bit of tin. Get a soldering iron. Now this side, this needs to go to ground. You can pretty much pick anywhere where it's black. You can solder it to the motor, or if you've got one of these little guys, you can just crimp it on to here. Crimper. Alright guys, just to show you again, just a very quick one. We'll start with the negative, super simple. There was already a negative going from the motor to the battery negative. All we've done is chucked an extra wire in, we've put a little crimp on and screwed in the existing spot there. So now the negatives can go together. And that negative goes, if you're looking at it like this, the socket is pointing to your left. The negative is the top one. The battery is your bottom one, and the one going to your power switch is the middle. Or you could say that your two short ones are positive and negative. I make the negative the center pin, so you should do it. And the one that goes to the battery is the extra long pin, because that's the switching pin. When you plug the plug in, that one gets disconnected, and when you take the plug out, the power then gets drawn from here. So there you go, you've got your switching plug. You can now use your motor with a DC power supply. Alright guys, new plug. Plug her in. Happy days. That's how your plug should look. Happy spinning.